What's up guys, you're watching India Today Tech. I'm Rahul Sethi and in this video I'm going to unbox the Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 Pro. Now this is not the actual box that you'll be getting the phone in, but without that box also Xiaomi has made the specs quite clear and it's written on the phone's display. The biggest part is the phone runs a Snapdragon 675, which is the latest processor, and it has a 48 megapixel camera that is a Sony IMX 586 sensor. We'll talk more about that. But here are a few things that you should know about the phone is that it comes in two variants, one at 14,000 rupees with 464 GB of configuration and the other at 17,000 rupees with 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. The phone will be available starting March 13 and you'll be able to buy it at 12 PM. So be ready for the flash sale if you want to buy that phone. Now let's take the phone out of the box, take a look at the design and the box contents and what are the major features of this device. Alright, now let's get the boy out of the glass case and into the wild. So the Redmi Note 7 Pro comes with glass back and that might be the reason Xiaomi has given us the phone in this casing. Anyways, the major elements as you can see is the dual camera setup at the back with dual LED flash, and Xiaomi explicitly mentions it's a 48 megapixel camera. There is a fingerprint scanner at the back side, and let me pull this out. So this is the black variant. Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 Pro comes in two other variants, red and blue, and those phones have gradient finish. This is just pitch dark black. Also the glass used at the back is from Corning, it's Gorilla Glass 5 and it's a 2.5D curved glass, and that is the glass used at the front as well. Now the specifications you've already seen. It has a 6.3-inch display with Full HD Plus resolution, a 4000 mAh battery, Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 and 48 megapixel primary and a 5 megapixel secondary depth sensor accompanying it. Also the phone has a drop style notch and the earpiece is given between the display and the phone body, and the length of the earpiece as you can see is quite big, which is good because when the earpiece is placed in this fashion, it generally needs a big area for it to be comfortably used. Although my experience with this kind of earpiece is not very good. But anyways, that is something you'll have to live with on a phone with this kind of design. The bezels as you can see are not very thick, although the chin is quite thick, but the overall screen to body ratio of the smartphone appears to be quite good. If you talk about the side, you'll see the phone has a volume rocker and a lock button, and they have a very tactile feedback. At the top you have a IR blaster, headphone jack and secondary microphone for noise cancellation. At the bottom you get a Type-C USB port and speakers, although both may not be functioning as a speaker, and I'll have to check out which one of the two will function as the actual speaker. The SIM tray on the phone is a hybrid one and you can only add second SIM or expand the storage. So the overall design of the smartphone is very similar to the previous Redmi smartphones. The frame is made out of plastic and instead of a metal back you get a glass back now, which does make it look more premium, although you'll see the glass at the back attracts a lot of fingerprints and smudges, though they should go away when you clean it with a cloth. But I'm not sure if the design is actually very durable because the frame is made out of plastic, and generally with glass back phones we've seen that metal frame is used to make the phone more solid and durable. This is not the case with Redmi Note 7 Pro, and that we'll have to check in our full and final round of testing. Anyways, let me set up the smartphone and then we'll take a look at the box accessories. Alright, so the phone is all set. Let me take a look at the box contents. At first we have a user guide that tells you how to set up the smartphone. Of course, the Sar values as well. So let's take a look at the Sar value of the smartphone. Alright, so the Sar value of the phone is less than 1 watt per kg for both body and head, which is way less than what the Note 6 Pro and previous Note smartphones had, but this is still quite high compared to other phones that we've seen like the Galaxy A30 I last unboxed. Then we have a Type-C USB cable, which is not only good in quality but good in length as well. Then we have a travel adapter that has 10 watt of output rating and is not really a fast charger, though the Redmi Note 7 Pro definitely supports fast charging. Alright, now let's take a look at the smartphone. So I've set up the fingerprint scanner on the device, and as you can see, it's very fast, which is generally the case with Redmi smartphones. But it's quite difficult to figure out the scanner position because it's sitting flat on the surface and there is no contouring. So it probably will require some getting used to, but right now it's quite difficult for me to figure out where the fingerprint scanner actually is. Next, let's check the software on the smartphone. It's MIUI 10, but let's see if it's built on Android 9 Pie. So yes, it's built on the Android 9 Pie. The display, as you would notice now, is quite glossy and is quite reflective, but it does have good viewing angles and brightness levels. I've blasted the brightness levels to full, and this is how the display looks like. So the brightness levels are not very amazing, I would say. It cannot really combat AMOLED displays that have much better brightness levels and much deeper black levels. And you would find AMOLED displays on some of the phones like the Galaxy M30, which is almost there at 4990. But the Redmi Note 7 Pro also appears to have a pretty nice display. Let's check out the color production of this one. Okay, so first up, the sound is coming from the right speaker grill. So first of all, the sound is coming from the right speaker grill. And next, if you take a look at the display, I'm running a 1080p video, and you can see it's quite nice, the color production. You can zoom the YouTube video to fill the screen, and if you take a look at the viewing angles, they are not very amazing because the display is slightly more reflective compared to many smartphones you've seen in this price range, but it's quite nice. The color production is quite good. It's not very saturated, the colors look very natural, and as we saw, the brightness levels are decent enough. They're not amazing, but they're not bad either. But we'll have to check outdoors if it's sufficient enough. But thanks to this glossy panel, you'll see the contrast and sharpness of the display is fully utilized. I mean, you'll see that it's quite a sharp display with very nice color production, so it looks very appealing to the eyes and doesn't feel any less compared to a mid-segment flagship. Also, the touchscreen on the device is quite nice. Thanks to the Corning Gorilla Glass 5, it's quite smooth and gives you a great overall experience. Now, most of the features of the MIUI 10 you must be familiar with. Here is the toggle menu that has blue and white contrast. The brightness bar is given a thick layout, and the notification, as you know, can be swiped to remove. Next, if you talk about the recent apps menu, it's done in this fashion, and there are some of the options given up top, but MIUI being a skin on top of basic Android, you'll find a lot of third-party apps. So there are apps that you can download, there are tools from Xiaomi, and then there is the Mi Pay, which I think has come for the first time on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Then there's Mi Store, Mi Community, and many other applications that you won't find on stock Android. Also on the left, you'll see there's a page very similar to the Google Now, and you can add a lot of shortcuts to quickly access the stuff you frequently watch out for. Now let's take a look at the speed of app launch. Although I'm not doubting the performance of this device, Snapdragon 675 is one of the best chipsets in this price segment, and in fact, Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 Pro is one of the first smartphones to use this chipset in this price range. And if you don't know already, the Snapdragon 675 is even better in many terms compared to the Snapdragon 710. And 710 is a chipset used on mid-segment flagships. So I'm not at all doubting the performance capabilities of this smartphone, be it switching between the applications, multitasking, or running heavy games and apps. I think this phone can take all of that with ease. We'll have to put some games and test the mettle of this phone actually. Right now, let's move on to the cameras. If you talk about the camera interface, you'll see it has a lot of options. There's of course the portrait mode that utilizes the depth sensor, and then there is the night mode, square mode, panorama, pro mode that allows you to tweak a variety of stuff, and video mode that allows you to capture 4K video at 30 FPS, which is quite cool. Then we have the front camera, so let's quickly check this out for photo. It does have quite a wide angle. Alright, the camera appears to be capturing quite nice details. I've zoomed in, and as you can see, the details don't break. The color is also quite nice, and so is the brightness in the photo. Now there are plenty of modes for the front camera as well. There is video, of course, Let's check the resolution of that. It's full HD at 30 fps, and there's image stabilization on that as well. Then there's short video, then there's portrait mode as well, which is of course software based, but nonetheless let me check the object separation and the quality. Not bad, although not very finished, but does the job for a single camera. Alright, so the photos as you just saw are quite nice, they're quite colorful and have good amount of details. So the Redmi Note 7 Pro's 48 megapixel camera does live up to its hype, but if you talk about other things, they're also quite good, barring the fact that this phone uses a plastic frame and you get a 10-watt adapter, which is not a fast charger inside the box. Other things on the Redmi Note 7 Pro appear to be quite appealing right now for the price. But do wait for our full review where we do the full testing of the performance and other aspects of the phone. We'll let you know how good it is compared to other smartphones as well, like the Galaxy M30 that uses an AMOLED panel and comes with a triple rear camera setup. Watch out for our full review and comparison videos, and if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel to get latest videos on technology, smartphones and other gadgets like this. Thank you for watching.